to me. There we go. Okay, live streaming is on. Let's see if YouTube pushes through the live stream on me here. It did.
It's not.
It did. It says live streaming has started. Are we live? I think we're live.
Press the enable button.
What? No, we're live streaming right now, dude. We're good to go. Let me click on here. I think we're ready. I think we're rocking and rolling. Yeah, I can. Okay. We're going. We're live, dude.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, we're live. So hold on a second here. Is it still? Yeah. Yeah, we're looking good. Guys, can you see us? Can you hear us? Are we doing good? Hold on, I'm not ready yet. Hold on. There you go. I got to fix this real quick before I can go live. Well, I guess we're already live, so. Oh, sorry. Okay, now we're good. Hey, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Caliber Corner episode number 113. Hopefully we're, yep, I can see myself brushing my beard right now, so we're good to go. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, guys. We're going to have a great little episode. We're going to talk about compact optics-ready pistols. Are those going to be pretty much the expected new norm for the pistol world out there? We're going to talk about the 300 Remington Ultra Magnum today. It was a viewer request. I've also got some really cool announcements about Palmetto State Armory that I wanted to make, and I have not had a chance to check and see if these products are already out, but if they are, you guys can maybe correct me on it. But before we do anything, let's go ahead and see who's watching the show this evening. Don't forget, you guys can watch us over on gunchannels.com too. Is Travis B going full man bun? I would not be caught dead with the man bun there, Calaveras. And on that note, hello this evening to Calaveras 32 Special. Keywords out there. Gabe Stark is out there. Midnight Range TM in the house. Kingpin is out there. Tacos and French fries. The Second Amendment wasn't a suggestion. First time watching. Welcome to the show. Let's see who else is out there. Jason Stewart's joining us. Yoder, Texas is out there. Scott P79. Southpaw RX is out there too. WB's out there. Weston Probst is out there. AWAG 1000 says howdy. AWAG, you might want to get in on this conversation. We got something that's going to relate to you, brother. Otherwise, we've got a great panel lined up for this evening. And let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves. So on my left, we have got AWAG 1000. Oh, AWAG, you're here.
Hi,
you were gone a second ago. You're back. You're back. You're alive.
Yep.
I thought your Super ate you. I thought you fell under the hood and never made it out.
It is eating me financially, but yeah, I just sent off the head to the machine shop, and I should be picking it up on Saturday. So hopefully that weekend I should be able to get it on the road. Hopefully.
There you go. Nice. That's going to be awesome, dude. That's going to be awesome.
You know what I told you to do with that Super. I'm just saying.
I'm not launching it off a cliff.
Dude, do you have any idea what those cars are worth? I mean, they're going up in value, man.
I told you last time to sell it so you can finance your move out of New Jersey.
No, that is my move out of New Jersey. As soon as I get the car ready, I'm packing it up, and I'm out of here.
Oh, that's your ride out of New Jersey. Oh, yeah. We get you. So if you guys don't know... If you guys don't know AWAG 1000's been with us for a long time. He's been on the show for a couple years now. So AWAG, what you been up to lately?
Since day one.
You were on the first episode. When did you start showing up? What episode of Caliber Corner?
Actually.
What? You were on episode 1.
It was the first episode. Yep.
Holy cow. Oh my God, we're getting old. You were so little back then, AWAG. You were like 9 or 10.
I know.
Man, wow, what did we let a child in this show
I'm
for?
all grown up.
How could we let a child in on this show? I'm telling you. No, I'm just messing with you.
And Travis, he even visited the Night Strike Range as well.
I did.
There we go. But he was a legal adult at that point, just for the record. So
well.
I'm just looking. Hey, man. All right. So AWAG, what you been up to lately, brother?
Building, more building, getting new jobs, earning that money.
Travis, in my defense, he still had peach fuzz on his chin. That's why I say somewhat.
Indeed.
There you go. So AWAG's getting a little bit older. So AWAG, channel still kind of held back for a little while. You gonna put some videos up at some point or not?
My stuff is there. It's just listed as unlisted. If you're friends with me on Discord or anything, I tend to throw out links to all my videos here and there every once in a while. But I'm still trying to keep all the gun stuff kind of under wraps a little bit because the situation here in New Jersey, it's like terrifying here.
Yeah, it's not getting any better either for you guys, man. So it's time to get out of there. Nice. You need to go someplace that's warmer.
Yep.
Someplace where you got a little bit of freedom to pursue your interests and start getting your endeavors in order. Because some of us have money on the side for you.
By the way, it's 70 degrees here today, so I'm just saying.
How many? What are you sitting at?
70 degrees today.
Oh my God, 70. We are sitting at a balmy. Anybody want to take a guess? Central Nebraska?
35.
24 with a low of 17. Ooh. With a low of 17. The wind was blowing at 35 miles an hour this morning. It was nasty, man. Talk about blustery. Hey, let's continue with the panel intros. AWAG, thanks for being here. Night Strike, moving on to you. What can one expect to find if they come visit your channel, Night Strike? What do you got?
Well, we got hit or miss every Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock, but you are the unofficial co-host of right now.
Do what I can.
And until Rogue Smeggy comes back,
Mm.
He'll be back again someday.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Yeah. And when he does, I'll be happy to hand over those honors.
But we also do we have restarted the Friday night strike. So every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we sit down, have a discussion, just kind of do water cooler chat.
Sounds good. Yeah, you guys have had some really good shows. I like listening to it on. I'm usually just getting to where I need to go on Friday nights, so I'm not able to listen live, but I do catch it the next day. So you're usually my morning listen when I wake up. So
we're doing that. I might do it's either Rocall doing it on his channel or me doing it on mine. But I also do Rants and Raves every Wednesday night with Rocall.
Sweet. All right. Cool.
It just depends on what happens during the week. So that's that. And if you haven't done so already, go to my YouTube channel, Night Strike 1 on YouTube, and check out my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, because I'm giving away a lower build kit for an AR-15. So if you haven't entered, go check the description of that video out and enter. Do it. You want to.
If you guys get a chance, we'll put a link in there for that video, and you guys can definitely head on over there and win some goodies.
Also, remember to hit like, comment, and subscribe.
Mm-hmm. This is true. Cool, man. All right, well, moving along with the intros. We got the Kingpin with us. Kingpin, how are things going, buddy? You doing all right there, bud?
Man, I'm fantastic. I appreciate you having me, Travis. Always a good time.
All right, man. Appreciate you being here, and you've been here a lot. It's nice to have you stopping by and chiming in, and awesome. All right, and last but not least, it's the Squib Load. Squibby, what's cracking, brother?
Running a grinder. That's what's happening.
Oh, that's what you call it, huh? Just kidding. Hey, so Squib, what can one expect to find if they come check out your channel?
I mean, it's not all 2A and gun stuff. Mm-hmm. The premise of my channel is these are things that I'm interested in. These are things I'm doing. These are things that I like. And gun people are just like everybody else. Pro-Second Amendment advocates are like everybody else. There's more to us than just guns and fighting for liberty. And that's kind of what I do with the videos I make. I make videos about other things that I'm interested in addition to gun stuff, to kind of show that we're normal people just like everybody else. Just because you don't know if your neighbor has guns or don't know if your neighbor votes for legislation or for candidates that are pro-Second Amendment, or at least say they are, or whatever, they might be. And the more we normalize firearms ownership and normalize the fact that it's a constitutional right, first and foremost, before anything else, it's not about hunting, it's not about this, it's not about that. The more we normalize it and show, hey, look, there's more to, I mean, some people do cooking, some people do coffee reviews, some people show where they travel to, things like that. So that's kind of what I have on my channel.
Okay. A lot of good stuff over there if you guys check it out. So we had a lot more people join us with the live stream. We'll kind of we'll check the comments as often as we can. If you guys have a question, you might want to put it in there more than once. And so there's already some comments popping in. 2 Live Moose says, anyone hear what happened to the closer last night? Let's see. Midnight Range is out there. Maybe he'll try in. He just maybe wasn't able to have an episode, but the closer is definitely a show you guys need to check out. So, all right. I've got a lot of... Wow, whoosh, sploosh, sploosh. What's up? Go ahead, guys.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying thank you for Squib. I couldn't get to the mute button last night.
So I was checking out a video today. It was just a suggestion that popped up on a playlist, and I think it's Elfster, E-L-F-S-T-E-R, Elfster's Reloading and Rifles channel. I subscribe to it. I'll get you guys a link here before the end of this podcast. He did an awesome tour of Palmetto State Armory, and it was recent. Within like the last couple days, he posted the video. And in the 25-minute video, they covered like all the different aspects of Palmetto State Armory, the manufacturer, the packaging, the distribution, the people who work up front in the office, the people that work in the regular store. And I mean, it was a great video, And I was listening because he had, the MP5 listed in the title, because you guys know Palmetto State Armory is going to release a clone of the MP5. And a couple things they were talking about, and I don't know if this is out yet. Maybe you guys can check quickly, or maybe you've already heard about this. They were showing off some of their new products, and they're going to be releasing an enhanced AK-47. Have you guys heard about this yet? Take that as a no. Panel, you guys aware of the PSA AK-47 enhanced models?
No.
Okay, so they're going to do a nickel boron bolt carrier group. They're going to have an improved trigger. They're also going to put a different muzzle brake on the end of it, and they're using a stronger steel for the trunnion. So I don't think they're going to go like what VSKA and do like 4150 for the whole rifle, but they are going to have FN sourced 762 by 39 barrels, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, so I don't know what these are going to sell for, but when these enhanced come out, that's going to be cool. I mean, I like how they're just taking the product that they make now and they're already beefing it up. And I'm not sponsored by PSA. I've got several of the rifles. I work with a lot of companies, but that is looking very promising. They were testing them with some different brakes on them to see which muzzle brake they want to ship with it. So I don't think these are on the website yet. I don't know what the cost is going to be. I would just say $799 maybe. I guess they'd probably want to keep it under $1,000, because once you go to 1,000, you start looking at Vepers and Arsenals and stuff like that. So I would think they're going to keep it under 1,000. Maybe they're going to go like $799 or $899, but it's definitely going to be a step up. They did ask them if they're ever going to come out with a milled receiver version of an AK-47. They said no. They had looked into it, but they just said that stamped is just the way to go.
It's easier to produce a stamped receiver than it is a milled receiver. And plus, milled receivers are heavy and they're also more expensive, much more expensive. I encourage you guys to look at prices on stamped receivers for, like, if you wanted to build your own AK, compared to a Tordort receiver, which is a milled receiver, and you'll see why that everybody's going stamped.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot more expensive. I know if you just look at some of the other rifles that are out there that have the milled receiver, you're looking at $900, if not more, for the most part. I mean, not counting like collectibles and things like that. Yep. But I mean, AWAG, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, the original AKs were just stamped sheet steel, right? They weren't.
Yes, the designation AK-47 designates a milled receiver. So I kind of get all butthurt when somebody says AK-47 when referring to a stamped gun.
So wait, okay, so the original AKs were milled and not stamped?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Again, I need to definitely check out my my history on these things. But
didn't they go stamped, then milled, and then back to stamped, or something like that?
Correct. The Type 1, the Type 2 the Type 2 was milled, and the Type 1 was stamped. And they're referred as such. The Type 1 and then the Type 2 is the AK-47.
Now, when they went to the AKM standard, was that stamped then?
Correct. AKM designates 762 by 39 on a stamped receiver.
So I'm looking right now to see if they mention anything. They've got the GF3, but I think it's just the regular Gen 3 PSA AKs on their website right now. So I don't believe these are...
GF3s are good to go.
Yeah, they're you should be good there. But I'm not seeing anything with the enhanced models. Maybe they'll get those. I'd imagine they're going to see. We're just now starting to get all these fun little things popping up on YouTube videos that are going to show up at the SHOT Show next month. That's in January, right? SHOT's in January. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to start seeing all kinds of different models popping up. Now, AWAG, this is going to make you very, very happy. They are also, after the enhanced AK-47 comes out, they're going to look at releasing an AK-74.
Ooh.
So my suggestion to anybody that's a firearms enthusiast, if you've got your AK-47, if you got your AR-15, if you have your ammo, start stocking up on 545. I would start getting. AWAG, what could you recommend for 545? What would be the best value for somebody that wants to start getting ammo for an AK-74 in anticipation of maybe buying one of these PSA ones?
545 is an interesting caliber. It all depends on your bore size, because I know some manufacturers draw their true to spec 545 barrels, and then there are some people that use like basically rechambered 223 diameter bores.
Yeah, okay, I was wondering about that. If that's something that happens because just for cost sake or whatnot.
Yeah, it's usually a lot easier to get a 223 or a 222 diameter bore and basically chamber it for 545 because, you know, even though it's only 0.02 of an inch difference because 545 bullet diameter is 0.219, you know, it's usually easier to use a 222 or a 223.
So you're saying Tula is a bad brand to get ammo from?
It depends. If you have a true to spec 545 by 39 gun, it could potentially give you feed problems because the bullet diameter that I've measured, and I've gotten a couple of them, is the bullet diameter is 0.223, which is very big for my my Bulgarian AK-74s because they use a 0.218 diameter bore. They're slightly undersized.
Well, couldn't you use a chamber reamer to open it up a little bit?
It wouldn't matter because the bullet diameter is a lot bigger than the actual bore diameter. So you could ream it till the cows come home and it still wouldn't make a difference.
All right.
So, question for AWAG. I'm looking at ammo for 545 right now. Golden Tiger, is that a good brand?
Yep, that's good. Golden Tiger, Red Army Standard.
Yeah.
Your Silver Bear, if you can get a hold of it.
What about Barnaul?
Barnaul's good.
Okay. So, pass on Tula if you don't know the true bore diameter of your rifle?
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Best thing to do is just get a box and then test it out.
Yeah.
And if it gives you issues, then stay away from it. But most of the time with reputable builders, Arsenal, and like even some of your Meridian builds, and M13, all those actual not actual brands that build theirs per se, but people who build off parts kits, they can run Tula pretty good. I have my Plum Bulgarian 74 uses an AK builder barrel, which is slightly oversized. So it uses the Tula no problem. It's just my wood furniture 74 does not like the Tula at all.
What about Wolf?
Wolf's good.
Okay, so that is Wolf a different factory from Tula?
It's more on the lines of what is it, the Golden Tiger? Or
okay. I mean, I've got Wolf ammo. I've just never looked into the actual origin of the manufacturer to know anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Starling actually started producing brass for the 545 by 39. It makes me happy, but the only thing is, Hornady makes really good ammo for the 545 by 39. Yep.
I didn't realize he even made ammo for it. I had no. I mean, I know quite a bit of the Hornady ammo, but I haven't looked into 545 at all until I saw that they were going to be making an AK-74, which. You know, and again, I've said this before, you know, the MP5 and the AK-74, a lot of us that are gun guys, I'm not going to say we're getting bored with what's out there, but there's a lot of different types of guns that we don't have that maybe hit that price point that we don't want to drop the money into. Maybe we don't want to buy an HK SP5 because we don't have $2,800, or we don't want to drop $1,200 or $1,300 in a Zenith MP5, or, you start to get sub 1,000. That's a lot more accessible for a lot of us. Just kind of average gun buyers, you know.
And that's the thing. You say that it's not so much the gun community getting bored with the guns. It's more like these gun manufacturers are putting out boring guns, you know.
Well, it would be nice to have more availability in certain models. Like I said, with an AK-74, where I know I don't have to go spend, you know, what's a decent AK-74 going to cost you these days? $1,100, $1,200?
$1,500 for something decent.
And I mean, we're only talking $500 or $600. If a person really wanted it, you could put the money back. But you give me an AK-74 that's $699, $599, you got another customer. You know, it's that simple. There's just a certain price point I think that you hit for a lot of guys, just or a lot of people in general. Once you get that price down there a little bit, then I mean, look at how many of us buy multiple AR-15s because we can get an AR-15 for under $400. You know,
and we need to mention another ammo just real quick. Wolf. Because people love using Wolf. I use Wolf and Tula most of the time. I'm in my 7.62 by 39 AK, but I assume Wolf also makes 5.45 because that's what they do.
Scott P79 says Golden Tiger's made at the same factory as the Russian military ammo. It's supposed to be made to the same spec. Yeah, and, you know, the price is not bad on that 5.45, guys. If you're thinking about buying an AK-74 at any point, get a case of 1,000 rounds. I mean, let's just say you don't get the 74 down the road. You'll have no trouble unloading that ammo. So that's not a problem at all. So $209 for 1,000 rounds is not bad. That's about $30 more than you're going to pay for 7.62 by 39. So I would say go for it.
And if you end up wanting to build a 74, it's kind of tough luck because there's no more kits coming into the United States, sadly.
Yeah.
But if you do manage to come across even like a really beat arsenal that you pick up from a pawn shop for like, I don't know, maybe $800, you can pick up a barrel and then either do it yourself if you have the tools, or take it to a gunsmith, replace the barrel with a 223 barrel, and you got yourself a 5.56 AK. That, you know, that's like the ultimate thing here in the States is a 5.56 AK, because ammo availability for the 5.56 is everywhere.
Is that round, without getting into a big caliber debate, is that round ballistically superior to 5.56 NATO?
They're on par with each other, but it's comparing apples to oranges in a sense, because the 5.45 has different how it acts in, like, when it contacts like flesh or any type of soft material. It's completely different to how 5.56 acts. Normally when your 5.56 impacts either water or some sort of squishy material, let's just say it that, it tends to disintegrate and turn into dust, essentially. Whereas the 5.45, since it has a very long bullet ogive, it wants to yaw and like change directions. So technically speaking, the 5.45 is superior in a sense. It's also slightly flatter shooting per se.
Okay.
Because of that very long ogive. It has a very high ballistic coefficient, so it's good for holding its momentum downrange. 5.56 definitely has a velocity plus over the 5.45. But with velocity, essentially, it's a little more devastating in very, very close quarters.
Okay. What about powder burn? Are we looking at a 16-inch barrel minimum to get effective powder burn, or is it designed like a 300 blackout to burn out of a shorter barrel?
The 5.45 has a very quick powder burn rate, whereas the 5.56 was essentially designed to be shot out of a 20-inch barrel. The 5.45 was designed to be shot out of a 16-inch, and then later I think it's like an 8 or a 10-inch barrel in the Krinkovs.
So a little AK-74 pistol might be kind of nice too, you're saying?
Correct.
Oh, that'll work out.
And it's
maybe they'll come out with that. That would be amazing.
It's a lot less blasty than a 5.56. Just for that reason. Yeah. So it's, you know, if you look at the flash signature on a Krinkov compared to a 10-inch AR, you know, the 10-inch AR will put out a huge fireball.
That was awesome, man. Then people kept asking in this video, I thought it was kind of funny, they're asking about the MP5, when's it going to come out, what the deal is. Because, you know, last year we were told that these were going to be out, you know, the end of the year, that PSA would have their version of an MP5 out. And I don't know if they're going to call it the PA5 or something like that.
Slow manufacturing lately.
Yeah, what happened was they discovered that they had a couple parts that they wanted to outsource. They wouldn't have to buy machinery to make these parts. They just said in the long run it would be cheaper just to import, just to buy the parts domestically. They were going to have local producers, USA-made producers, make some parts for them. Then we started getting the price quotes. They were looking at what it would cost to make it and outsource those parts. And they said that it was going to push the price point for what they need to make off of each rifle kind of up into the competition, and they want to be below the competition for price point. Because once you start looking at $1,000, $1,200 on up, you know, you start running into different territory for some of the MP5 clones. And they said they wanted to keep it as low as possible. And so they've decided just to go ahead and produce a lot of the parts themselves now, most of the parts themselves, if not all. And I think Magpul's making a special handguard for it, if I'm not mistaken. They're on board with that. I think we showed that off last year because we had we went live and started talking about it AWAG last year. Remember when I got the details on it, showed off the concept photos?
Yep.
I would just like to remind everybody that PTR Industries, which makes the really good HK91 clones, they make them in a variety of other calibers too. Their headquarters is here in South Carolina, as well as Palmetto State Armory's headquarters is in South Carolina. they're both on different sides of the state. PTR is closer towards Myrtle Beach. PSA's straight in the capital, Columbia, which is closer towards the border with Tennessee and North Carolina. So PSA is trying to make a decently priced gun, but at the same time, if the parts cost them too much and they have to charge more for them, people are going to look at it and say, do I want to get the PSA one, or would I rather just buy it from PTR and just spend the same amount of money with PTR? And that's what you have to look at, because PTR does something similar as well. So,
yeah, PTR Industries makes some really nice rifles. PTR 91. I mean, you can get it yourself. Their version of a C308, right, or an HK G36,
HK 91.
G3 if you want to go the 308 route, right?
G3.
Yeah. PTR Industries makes some really nice rifles. So yeah, that's another option too. So it'll be interesting to see what PSA announces at SHOT Show, if they're going to go ahead and get that MP5 clone going at some point here in the near future, in the winter, in the spring. I don't know, but they said that they need to get the parts and they need to manufacture them. And then after that, they want to build up enough so that they can sell them and not run out. I mean, they're gonna sell like hotcakes anyway. If you keep the price fair enough, a lot of us are going to buy them. And I'm not even a huge fan of pistol caliber carbines. I got nothing against them, but I have no real desire for one right now. They're nice. There's nothing wrong with them. Then eventually I will pick one or two of them up. But get that MP5 out there and start tempting us with a low enough price point, then I think you're going to start looking at a lot more people buying into them.
PTR is making their own MP5, which is, I think they're calling it the 9KT or the 9R and the 9KT. The 9R is where it has, unfortunately, the way they have to do it in order to have a stock on it, they have to have the 16-inch barrel on it. So
okay.
That's the 9R. The KT, I think, is just the pistol variant. But they've already got them ready. So again, that's why I said, PSA has to, either be underneath their price point or at least be, affordable, because we've seen how much PTR rifles go and their rifles go for. So obviously their MP5s aren't going to be that much cheaper.
Okay. Hey, real quick here, G-Webs is chiming in. Did you see the new Glock announcement? Did they already talk about that? What's the new Glock announcement, guys? What do we miss out on? I've been working and then I came home and haven't had a lot of time to catch up on my gun news.
Maybe they're going to announce that they're going to finally make a carbine that everybody's been asking for, or something other than just another Glock. Just saying.
G-Webs, where can I find this Glock news at? On the website or what? What do we have?
I have a feeling we have a high point joke coming.
They're going to do, Glock 22, a 22 caliber Glock? Because I'm seeing all kinds of stuff popping up. It's looking like the new Glock pistol will be a 22 LR. I mean, you can get conversion kits, can't you, for... no, I don't think they do that yet, do they?
They do. There's one for the Glock 19. I forget who makes it. I was just looking at it today on Primary Arms.
So we got the G44 is the new Glock chambered in 22 LR. Interesting. It's all speculation. Says we won't know for sure what's going on until the G4, until tomorrow's announcement, which could be today. This was on the Truth About Guns. This was posted today, just a little while ago. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, you've got guns like the Taurus, TX22 that's out there, and you got Keltec making some nice
G-Web
22s now.
G-Web says it's not the 22.
Oh, G-Webs, you got to fill me in, Brad. I have no idea. Can you give us an idea as to what's the announcement about? It was leaked. A gunshot from the 2 where I followed posted it. Nope, not a 22. I'll tell you, no, not that. Okay. Well, somebody says G-Webs is a tease. Okay. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to figure it out and talk about it at some other point. Then if we, I have no idea. So, all right. I don't think any of us know. No biggie. All right. So I just wanted to talk about something real quick here before we get into our conversation on the compact red dot pistols. I took out the Bear Creek 762 by 39. I finally just broke down and went to the indoor range. And trying to get out to my outdoor range has been a pain. We've had awful weather, blizzards, mud. I just don't feel like sitting out there filming in the middle of a snowstorm. So took this to the indoor range. I used a target that's designed to let you sight in at 25 yards because that's the maximum distance. And I did post the video on my YouTube channel. I think it's live now, if I'm not mistaken. I think I posted it on Patreon first, and then it went live this morning. I took some ammo out. So in the Bear Creek, it's a 16-inch barreled upper. And I got the primary arms 4-16 by 44 scope on there, I think. I did fire a Winchester white box, 7.62 by 39. It produced the worst accuracy out of the group that I fired. It was about 1.25 inches. Now, this was only a 25-yard sight-in, but the way it's sighted in, the target's designed to fire point of aim at 100 yards. I did use the C Products Defense mags, both the 10-round mag and the 30-round mags. No problems at all. No issues with those. I did fire the PPU, 7.62 by 39 ammo. This produced a really nice, consistent group. So if you want some semi-precision or some finer ammo, get the PPU 7.62 by 39 brass. If you just want to really sight in and just see what the rifle can do, maybe you're going to take your AR hunting. This will definitely be a good ammo to get dialed in on. And then to actually just see what it could really do, I had an overlapping group of 3, which you could say is a 1-inch group or less. I took what I have left of my Hornady 123 grain SST steel case ammo, which now Hornady doesn't make this anymore. They only make it in brass. And it's called Hornady Black. They're marketing it under the Hornady Black label. So I've got 15 or 17 rounds of this left over. So you got your SST bullet in a steel case, and the Bear Creek had no trouble at all feeding the steel case ammo. And granted, it's a high quality ammo, but this produced a really good group. So once it warms up a little bit, once the winds are under 40 miles an hour, I'm going to take it out, run some of this through to go pick up some Hornady Black and just get some precision 7.62 by 39 ammo to show what this thing can do. It's really promising. Recoil was very light. It was very soft shooting. And, we're looking at an upper that's $250 or less. I think they're about $209 right now, if I'm not mistaken, on the Bear Creek website. Consider picking one up because you can just bolt it. You can just slap it on your AR-15 lower, get yourself the correct magazines for it, and you're in business.
Hot off the presses, Travis. I got you an Instagram post from G-Webs.
Okay, so what is it?
Here, I'll screen share.
All right.
Let me get over here. Okay, can you guys see?
There we go. Oh.
You'll have to translate what all that means. Oh, I see.
Okay, so the model is the GLPA 195S 414AB. That must be their stock number. G49 G5 10mm 8+1 4-inch barrel. So they're going to go more of the compact route. 3 8-round mags, front serrations. The G49 Gen 5. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So is it a Glock 19 and 10mm?
Compact and 10mm puts a bad taste in my mouth.
Nonsense. I'll buy one. Don't even go there. Yeah, and there's nothing on the. I don't see if I've seen anything on the internet about that or not. Okay, I'm seeing images. No, everything's coming up as G19. So is that real? G-Webs, is that legit? Because if that is, I gotta have me one of those, man. I'm going 8 rounds of 10mm should do the job, don't you think, guys? I mean, come on. So, like I said, we're getting
earlier that this was.
It was at a gun shop, right?
Oh, yeah, he said. It was one of the gun shops on his gun show loophole tour this year, and they posted it. So,
if that's real, that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. I will get that. Hate the new Glock? I'm not hating it, dude. I'm all about that. Zoom out. It's from a distributor's website. Yeah, no, dude, I'm all for it. My very first handgun that I ever bought was a G20 Gen 2. I think it was pre-rail, so it wouldn't have been a Gen 3. So yeah, no, I love the 10mm. That's an awesome round. That'd be pretty. I mean, the recoil would probably be fairly stout. I mean, but if you train yourself to practice with it, I mean, it could be much worse than some of the other calibers that are out there. So I mean, 357 SIG's got a pretty good punch through when you fire that through a shorter barreled handgun. So yeah. All right. Well, sweet, man. So you guys make sure you check it out. Maybe we can get some. I'm sure there'll be an announcement on it very soon. Like I said, all these companies are now just starting to throw everything out there. So, all right. So hey, is the camera view okay there? Nice strike. I'm seeing Kingpin in the middle there. Is it supposed to bring it back to? Is it supposed to bring it back to us or what?
just switch it back to
Oh, there we go.
Brady Bunch view.
I think it's already on that, isn't it? Is that it right there?
Yeah.
That's what we want? Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, you went off of it. Now you're back on it.
Okay. Well, it must have been when you do the screen share, it takes off the settings. So.
Yeah, it does. All you gotta do is re-enable it.
All right. So, I want to thank. Was it Rich White? I can't remember who posted that. About the Sky CPX2 with the red dot, and then Sandhill Shooter also. He's the one that tagged me on Facebook about that. Can't remember, or was it Gun Snob? So what sparked the idea for this topic tonight is you now have budget-priced handgun companies that are getting in on the optics-ready compact pistol kind of bandwagon, I guess you could say. Now, I'm not saying it's a negative thing whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share here real quick. Let me turn off my camera. And I did a video on this the other day, and I want to show this to you guys real quick. Here we go. So we'll just share the entire screen here. So what it is Sky is releasing CPX 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s, which is their 380, with an optics-ready slide, and it's going to come with a Crimson Trace red dot on top. They're listed over on Davidson's Gun Genie for an MSRP of $349. I'm guessing they're going to be probably between $249 and $300 street price, and that's with the optic on top, because the CPX2 is a sub $200 handgun, or just slightly above $200 when they're not on sale. Are you guys seeing this okay? Yeah?
Yeah, it looks really good.
And what's nice about it is you got your red dot, and then you've also got your backup iron sights right here, or your iron sights, I guess you could say, your standard sights, with a white dot down there that you can use if you need to. Here's the thing about this gun. Again, I've got a history with this gun. I carried one for 3 years, and within 1,000 rounds, it needed a new slide, new barrel, spring and guide rod, which Sky sent me, and I replaced it all, and the gun ran fine. Fired another 200 rounds through it, and then I went ahead and moved the pistol out of my inventory. Now, I've got a buddy who watches our videos, Sui778. He had a 380 Sky. I don't know if it's a CPX3 or CPX4. And he had problems with it. And, it was having some major malfunctions. And he ended up sending it back to Sky, and they sent him a replacement pistol. And he put quite a few rounds through it, and I don't think he had any problems with it at all. No frame pins walking out, no issues with it, whereas his other gun was falling apart within a couple hundred rounds. So maybe in the last couple of years, Sky has kind of got their stuff together. But this is kind of setting a new standard, because for somebody who wants to get into getting an optics-ready handgun, or somebody who wants to run a red dot on their conceal piece, this is setting a low price point for a lot of people to get into that. And there's you can slowly work your way up the ladder. Yeah, go ahead, Nice Strike. Travis,
don't give in. Don't fall for it. It's a trap.
Oh, I didn't say I'm going to buy one. I'm just asking you guys, what do you guys think about having a red dot on or some sort of optics-ready compact pistol with some sort of optic on the top of it? Should you do that, yes or no? What do you guys think? You want a red dot on your concealed piece or not? Compact concealed piece?
In all honesty, no, not really.
No.
Because if you look at some of the modern, like even the red dots and stuff, they're not very smooth looking, per se. Like if you were to have even a Trojicon RMR as one of the most common ones, or a burst fast fire or something like that, is it has a vertical line that can get snagged on something if you were to go to draw. It could get snagged on your shirt. It could get snagged on your belt if you have, I can't really speak from experience, because here in New Jersey we're not allowed to carry guns. But that's how I see it. If you guys have concealed carry experience with something like that, then by all means, tell me I'm wrong.
Well, and it's one thing when you've got the red dot on your competition pistol, and you're just wearing like a polo or a t-shirt top that's tucked in, and you've got nothing to worry about snagging on. To me, yeah, the snagging is the big thing. Not that you couldn't practice your draws and stuff, but you've got this little like nub sticking off of it. But then again, there are people that conceal, full-size pistols with the optics on the top, and it doesn't seem to be an issue. So, I don't know why the compact would be much more of an issue. I mean, one thing about it is if you go that route, you're probably having to look at a different holster too, because you're gonna have to have a different Kydex form around it and the way that it sits. Yeah.
You're carrying the compact or the subcompact because of size and weight. You're not carrying the full size, which is probably going to give you, a little bit more comfort, shooting accuracy, blah 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 blah. Because either it's your body size or your hand size or the kind of clothes you're wearing or whatever it is that's why you're going with the compact or subcompact. So adding something to it, I think, would defeat the purpose.
Now, if you've ever fired with a red dot before, first couple times I didn't like it because I was trying too hard to try to get the dot on the target. But after putting quite a few rounds through the pistols that I tested out, I'll tell you, man, I mean, you get really, really comfortable with just the red dots on the 4-inch plate and you pull the trigger. I mean, if you're not worried about that little 1-inch precise group, not that you can't dial those red dots in to be precise, but I'm not saying you feel lazy, but it is, in my opinion, easier to shoot when all you have to do is put the little red dot on the plate or put it on, the target. And so you get really comfortable with it, and I think it would make the shooting maybe a little bit easier. But I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm just used to having just a compact pistol that I'm proficient with. And somebody even said it out in the comments over there on the YouTube side. They said, hey, you need to get proficient with your iron sights first before you start playing around with the red dot. Southpaw says, what was the smallest pistol you shot with the red dot on it? It was not small. I think it was my a G34 that I tested with the red dot on it. And then I fired a few of Stan's pistols from SS Pawn, put some rounds through those also. And you start to get comfortable with them, but not compact. So I don't know. Let's see what else we have here.
The other thing about that,
Mhm.
you've got the crowd of people that say, don't carry reloads. Don't put anything on your gun that's got words on it like, smile and wait for flash, or don't tread on me. Don't put any accessories on your gun. So only carry a stock gun, because if you do anything to your gun that didn't come from the factory that way, the prosecuting attorney is going to say that it made it more deadly and you had the intent of wanting to do more damage. And I don't agree with that. I can understand placating somebody. Going, all right, fine. I'll carry a cheap, unmodified gun because I'm probably not going to get it back from evidence, or it's going to be a long time, or if something happens to it, I'm not going to care as much. As long as I can hit the target at a certain range with it, okay. But I mean, doesn't this go along the same lines as that?
I mean,
a lot of these guns come with the red dots, and a lot of them come red dot capable or optics capable right out of the factory, though. You're not modifying the gun to make it more lethal because it was designed to be run that way the way it was sold. So, and again, I guess we really need to distinguish here between compact and subcompact. We're seeing a lot of subcompacts now coming out with the optics ready slides. So, if you're talking about a deep carry, like a backup to your concealed carry, do you really want to be running an optic on the top of that? Somebody out there in the chat, I think it was Jason Stewart, said that no, just run a good front dot, like a colored front dot or fiber optic front dot on there, and you'll be just fine. There's no reason to have to worry about having a red dot. Some people are talking about just putting night sights on and some grip tape. Trigicon HD with orange front sight works well for me. No red dot needed, says Southpaw RX with his G43. Shooter should get comfortable with iron sights. Calaveras, I agree completely. Before you start going into the red dot, that's old school thinking RDS gets you better at iron sight shooting. The dot is a diagnostic tool and tells you where you need to work your draw, grip, trigger pull, etc. That's what Razor JB says. So, but again, yeah, we're seeing just a slew of subcompacts now that are coming out with these, with optics from the factory, like what you're saying with the CPX2 and the CPX3 RDs and CPX4s. So now, what about the P365? Is there a variant of that comes out with that's optics ready? I can't remember. The Hellcat does, right? The Springfield Hellcat. Those are optics ready, aren't they?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't pay attention.
I don't really follow Springfield.
Okay, so
the Hellcat was a popular gun.
If it comes from the factory that way, or it comes from the factory with the optic on it, okay, I can see your point. I'm just saying there is that crowd out there that says, don't do anything because it's going to... Okay, if the prosecutor is going that far in the case, then even if you had a stock gun with nothing on it, we're using stock ammo, blah, 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 they're obviously looking for... They have an agenda, and you got the deck stacked against you to begin with. But I'm just saying that it's something to consider if you're just talking about they've got it ready, and then you have to attach the optic, or you pay to have it, cut or drilled and tapped or whatever it is for for the optic. I'm not saying it's a bad idea because I don't have enough experience with them, and really, at the end of the day, whatever you carry, how you carry, that's totally up to you. I mean, I am of the camp that says you should learn on irons before you go to an optic. You really should. But if you don't, hey, once again, it's your choice. But I wanted to mention that because there are so many people out there that have this theory that you don't dare so much as change a spring on your gun or else you're going to jail forever. And it's like, okay, whatever, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I
here's
I can understand with
interweb.
the Glocks, like they're kind of asking to be modified, you know. I was using a buddy of mine's, his Glock 19, and it was having issues functioning with PMC. It was a Gen 3 Glock 19 straight from the factory, and it was light primer striking. So I ended up going online and getting him a 6-pound striker spring, you know, so that he can actually use those harder primers. And he picked up 1,000 rounds of NATO 9x19, and he runs it all day, every day, you know.
Kingpin, were you going to say something there?
The internet says that, the internet says that the SIG P365, the XLRX, comes with the Romeo red dot on it.
Okay, yeah, and the Hellcat does. You can get a version, or it does come ready for the red dot up on the top. I don't know. So some of these they offer them without an optics cut. It just kind of depends on the gun that you're looking at. Now let me play a little devil's advocate here. I'm seeing multiple comments now from older shooters that are saying that the red dot makes it easier on older eyes to get a acquisition on your target versus trying to use your iron sights and a tiny bullseye. You just put the red dot on the bullseye and pull the trigger. So, I mean, as an assistive device, I think for aging shooters, if it's going to keep you proficient at shooting, I'm all for it. I think it's definitely the way to go. Obviously, you want to practice with it, and you are kind of relying upon an electronic device to function when you need it to. So I would hope that you would have some sort of, co-witness iron sights or backup sights ready to go just in case. Now, just kind of talking about this, so we say that, well, it's maybe not necessary, or, iron sights is the way to be. Just looking at the breadth of firearms that are coming out here in the near future, I mean, I really do think that you're going to start to see the optics cut just becoming standard on more and more firearms that are out there. And so this is Omaha Outdoors. I just looked on optic ready pistols. They're listing 60. So now not all these show the optic on the top. Now these are Zev, okay? But they're all optics ready. So, I mean, this is definitely becoming the pattern. I mean, even the IWI Masada, now granted it has, plastic mounting plates, but $442 for a full-size pistol. 4.1 inch barrel. Optics ready, out of the box.
Oh, I like the idea.
Yeah.
I like the idea of an optics-ready firearm of any sort. Long gun, handgun, doesn't matter. If it's optics-ready, they're saving you the hassle, and it's really nothing to make those cuts or drill those holes at the factory versus taking it to a gunsmith. But the whole thing about the iron sights, it's just an old-fashioned kind of training, kind of learning kind of thing. If you can shoot with irons, you can shoot with anything. Whereas if you start out on an optic, and for some reason you have to go back to irons, it's a lot more difficult. That's the only thing.
I mean, all the models of the CZ P10s are now coming out optics ready, including their compact model. I mean, it's definitely. I definitely, and Everett Fambo had mentioned this a year ago or months and months ago. He said that he sees, just kind of looking at the industry and what he sees in the guns that he looks at. I mean, everything is just basically coming optics ready at this point. I mean, it's just becoming the standard that I think a lot of customers are going to expect. Now, there's going to be models that, like your M&Ps that won't come that way. You're going to have to buy special versions of it. But I mean, look at the SIGs. I mean, they've got multiple sizes that are optics ready too. So I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I think it's definitely going to be the wave of the future for handguns. I mean, it's, FN's on board for it now, CZ. Agency arms are pretty sweet. They're a little pricey. But I mean, there's a lot of, even your 1911s, you got options out there too. Not to mention guns that just have pick rails up on top, some of your 22 rim fires and things like that. So got your M&Ps that are ready to go. And it's like I said, you definitely need to try it before you knock it kind of situation, just because, in my opinion, it does make it easier for target acquisition. So I definitely think it's going to be the way to go. Now, would I carry that as my carry pistol? Would I do an optic or a red dot? I don't know. I guess to me, maybe the whole snagging issue could be a problem, getting it caught on something, especially if you're wearing layers or you wear like a heavy coat underneath. Not that you couldn't practice drawing and get proficient with it, because anybody can train to get past it. But I'd maybe consider one more for a home defense pistol or competition pistol than before a primary carry. All right. Well, any final thoughts on that at all, guys? Did you ever consider picking one up, or have you been checking out any models at all? Or
me being a builder, I honestly would kind of stay away from buying something as a whole. I'd just build it.
There you go. Well, and the thing is, you can take your existing pistol and you can send your slides. And we're not saying that, a person's got to buy the newest, greatest, bestest thing. You can take your existing Glock or M&P, and there's companies that will, do the slide cuts for you, or get the optics cut there for you and have it ready to go with your choice of optic, whether you want to go with Crimson Trace or Leopold or Trijicon or whatever. So, you've got a lot of options. And a lot of those jobs are under $200 to get the optics cut. Some of them like $150 or less. So I definitely would look around and pick a good shop that gets good reviews and make sure you're not going to have any issues, because you could, potentially get a ruined slide when you get it back if the threads don't match up and the optic's not correct. But
and that's the thing for $200 sending my slide out to get milled and cut. I can go on Brownells that has Glock 19 slides.
Oh yeah,
pre-made for like $225, $250. That my buddy is multiple Glocks, and he has multiple P80s that I've pressured him into building. Mm-hmm. And those things are great because the P80s actually have the grip angle of a 1911. They're very comfortable pistols. Here in New Jersey now we can get Polymer 80 serialized receivers, or they're pre-made already, but they're serialized, so you can have that 1911 grip angle. And I see people run them all the time here at the local 3-gun matches.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now Razor JB says, in 11 years of carrying an RDS handgun, I've never since had a snag due to the dot. Front side post a few times, but the dot never snagged. Yeah, no, we're not saying it's going to be an issue, but it does seem a little bit cumbersome to have something just hanging off the top of a compact pistol. But yeah, I think you're going to be fine. Obviously, get yourself the correct holster and practice carrying. I think you're going to be fine. G-Web says, I wear super tight yoga jeans, so I'm not going to carry a red dot, or it will look weird. Actually, it might kind of change the printing a little bit so it doesn't look like a gun. It might look like you're smuggling like a Stingray or something in your pants, What else do we have? Razor JB also said, where was it at? If you can shoot irons, it does not mean you can shoot RDS by any means. One is totally different from the other. Start on either one is fine. Yeah, Razor JB, I agree with you. I definitely had to practice quite a bit with the red dot pistols that I tested on my channel. It took a while to get comfortable with it. And then after a while, eventually it just felt natural, drawing and so on. And you want to test out, you definitely want to do your research on the red dots themselves, because I've tested different brands of them, and you do notice a difference. Some of you might like the little triangle style reticle or a dot. So there's going to be different options there too. Screaming Skull Saloon says, I'm dreaming of a White Castle slider just like the ones I used to devour. There you go. Travis, have you ever practiced shooting without sights? You mean just, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had any. I've never fired my AR without sights or any of my pistols without sights. No, I can say I have not done so.
Borderline hip fire?
They do it on TV all the time, and they seem to hit their targets with no problems at all,
it depends on what gun you have. Some guns naturally point, straight ahead quite well.
Sure.
I would actually say, safely give it a shot.
Yeah, my wife and I were watching episode 2 of the Hunger Games, and I don't think any of the rifles that the soldiers were carrying had any kind of rear iron sight on them whatsoever. So I just don't think you even need one. I think they're just pointless. I think it's just a marketing ploy. The rear sights, there's no point. So, no, I'm just kidding, guys. Another thing to remember is the new high point that's going to be coming out, the E-Cannon, the YC9 Gen 2. Whenever they come out with that, that's also going to be optics ready too. So that's going to be the uber low cost-effective way to get into it. You get that with like a Burris fast fire on there, and you could have a super duper cheap budget. Yeah.
With the Yeet Cannon and it having the red dot cut out, is it going to be on the side or the top?
No, it's not going to be gangsta. It's going to be up on top. It's going to be a plate that you'll be able to take off and screw in a mounting plate for your optic. So it's going to be super high, center of gravity on that thing. But what's that?
They should only offer that in the $100 bill camo.
Oh my god!
with the side mounted RMR.
The $100 bill hydro dip going on.
Hey, I'd rock it.
There you go.
Eagle with a $100 bill.
I think that new High Point when it comes out, there's going to be so many people that are going to be. You might say, "Oh, I'd never buy a High Point," but wouldn't it be nice to have a suppressor ready double stack handgun for $149? I mean, what's not to like about that? I wish they would carry it across their whole line, the 40, the 45, just do it to everything, Well, maybe not the 45. I don't know how they do that, but what they basically did was just enlarge. They just kind of bored out the grip area, and they're changing the grips to make room for the double stack mag, which is kind of interesting because they always kind of had room for a double stack mag until they just went into it and actually designed one. And I think it's going to be a 15-round mag when they come out with it. Initially, it's going to be a lower capacity, but then they're going to come out with a higher standard capacity magazine for the new High Point, which is supposed to be coming out soon too. That was supposed to be out by the end of this year. So, and I know they want to make sure that it's fine, that there's not going to be any issues with it before they start to sell it and so on. But I don't know. I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be cool. I mean, yeah. Now, if we can just get High Point to come out with the 10mm handgun, that would just be awesome. We've talked about this before. I mean, I definitely think that they could. You might say, well, man, can you imagine the beefiness of the slide? Well, I mean, look at 40 and 45. I mean, would it really take that much more to make a High Point handgun that can handle the pressure of? I mean, I've seen you watch like the High Point torture tests, and they're running +P+ ammo through this thing, and it's handling like a champ. I mean, it's not blowing up or anything like that. Not that I would do that, mind you, but I mean, it's robust enough that I think the metallurgy could take it. So High Point needs to get on the ball and get a 10mm handgun. They had said last year at SHOT Show that they were thinking about it, or there was kind of some ideas. Now that they got the magazines for it off the carbine, that they could easily, just start to design a handgun around their standard platform. So, and I don't know if High Point's going to go the Gen 2 route for all their guns, or if that's just going to be one exclusive model. But I'd imagine that's good. Once we start to see that thing show up on some of the gun channels, some of the gun videos, then we know that Gen 2 High Point 9mm is definitely going to be on its way out. So, you guys going to buy one or not? Nice Rick, you going to buy a Gen 2 High Point?
You
going to get your yeet on? Get your yeet cannon?
If I can afford it, I might get a yeet cannon.
There you go. They're going to be sub $200. They're talking like $159, $169 retail.
I mean, if I were to buy what I like to call a meme gun, I'd buy a Deagle in 50 AE.
Oh, there you go.
Because I got to shoot one the other day, and now I really, really want one.
I borrowed Stan's in 357 Magnum, and it was just freaking awesome. I loved it. It ran like a champ, man. They're just there. I'd love to shoot. I've never fired one in 44 mag or 50. How was the recoil on that? Was that pretty stout, or was it not bad at all?
It actually wasn't that bad. It was one of the newer ones that were
ported or what?
It had like I want to say it's ported, but it's more like a big compensator up front. I think it's one that what's his face? The Yankee
Guns
Marshal had.
Oh, okay.
It was black, and it had like the compensated front in it, and it was 50 AE. It is a big guy. Big guy. If
you've ever seen it, when you take one apart, they've got dual recoil springs in them also.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not uncomfortable to shoot at all. I love shooting the one in 357 mag that I took out. I didn't want to give it back. So unfortunately, I don't have $1,200 around to get another one.
Yeah.
So what was the deal? That you can get a kit that has two barrels. They have one that's got 357 mag or 44 or something like that. Can't remember what it was exactly, but there's a kit you can get with two barrels.
Huh. Oh yeah, the one with the 10-inch barrel. Yeah.
I
just want to get the very, very standard model that's compensated, like the one that I handled.
Yeah.
In the matte black. I can't explain to you how awesome it felt. It gives you like this feeling of just sheer power.
Yeah. Dude, when I took the one out that I took out, just cleaning it was awesome. I'm like, I get to shoot this thing. I was so excited. I'll tell you what, man, they get filthy because they've got kind of like a gas impingement system on them, sort of the way they run. They have a piston and everything, so they get nasty up in the front. I mean, I did 50 rounds, and it took a lot to get that monster clean. But
I know. I really want one. I'm starting to save up now. I have like a little jar that every time I get like any type of just exterior bill that's not bigger than a 20, it gets thrown in there.
You got the My Little Deagle piggy bank going on there.
I've got the same thing, but I'm going for an M1 Garand.
There you go. There you go. Remember Wedding Singer? I've got this jar on top of my fridge, and sometimes I put some change in that little jar. You know, I've got some savings.
I mean, if anybody would like to donate to the cause, I'll throw my PayPal.
Just do a GoFundMe campaign for it. Help AWAG get a Deagle. Most people are like, what? Help A1K get a MK whatever they are, 5 or whatnot by this point. So there you go, man. That'd be awesome. Oh, all right. So any last thoughts on compact or subcompact optics-ready pistols? Like I said, looking at the trend, I think it's just almost going to become standard across the board that the majority of what you're going to see available is going to come optics-ready. I think it's just going to become the new norm, which is fine with me. I mean, it's nice to give that option to people if they want to go that route. Plus, you know, you got strong support from the industry. It's not like these red dots are going away anytime soon. All right. Well, then the last topic we have on the list, unless anybody else has anything else they want to bring up. We're all good. Just checking the comments right now. Let's see. Wait, the guy who came to the gun channel's house in Tulsa last month is the same guy who let Travis B11 shoot his stuff in videos. Yes, G-Webs. That is Stan. That is Stan, the man from SS Pawn. You didn't know that? You have no idea, G-Webs? Yeah, that was Stan. Yeah, he hung out with you guys, man. So I guess that's news for you. So yeah. All right. So anyway, the last topic, and we had a viewer that reached out to me and said, could you please just bring it up for discussion? 300 Remington Ultra Magnum. All right. So 300 RUM or RUM. I don't know if it's RUM or we're going to call it 300 RUM because that just sounds cool. That sounds like something I would have made in college, 300 RUM. But whoa, what's going on here? Who's screen sharing? Is that you, AWAG?
I believe it is.
Hey, well, you might have muted yourself there, bud. There you go.
There we go.
I have no idea what just happened there. AY just took over the screen.
I did push the wrong button.
Yeah, you did. I was.
Okay. Okay.
I was like, okay, we get it. You want $1,700? We'll get the money. Relax.
Yeah, I need it. I mean,
jeez, calm down, kid. Calm down. So, anywho, so I was talking about 300 Remington Ultra Magnum, and I just want to read a little history on this and talk about it. There's plenty of rifles out there that you can purchase in 300 Remington Ultra Magnum. A Calaveras 32 Special or 38 Special was saying that you can get the single shot pistols that are chambered in that also. I'm assuming it's single shot bolt action pistols. So 300 RUM, 300 Remington Ultra Magnum. What do we need to know? The origin is Canada, of all places, believe it or not. So 300 Remington Ultra Magnum, also known as 300 Ultra Mag, 762 by 72 or 300 RUM, is a 762 rifle cartridge introduced by Remington Arms in 1999. The 300 Remington Ultra Magnum is one of the largest commercially available 30 cal magnums currently being produced. It's beltless. It is a beltless rebated rim cartridge capable of handling all large North American game. There you go. As well as long range shooting. Among commercially produced 30 caliber rifle chamberings, the 300 Remington Ultra Magnum is second only to the 30 378 Weatherby Magnum in cartridge case capacity. So just real quick on the history. In the early 1980s, Aubrey White and Noboru Uno of North American Shooting Systems, based in British Columbia, Canada, began experimenting with the full-length 404 Jeffrey by reducing the taper and necking it down to various calibers such as 7mm, 308, 311, and so on. These cartridges were known variously as the Canadian Magnum or the Imperial Magnums. Rifles were built on the Remington Model 700 long actions and used Macmillan stocks. Cartridges were fire-formed from 404 Jeffrey cases with the rim turned down, taper reduced, and featured sharp shoulders. So both Remington and Dakota Arms purchased the form brass designed by Noboru Uno for use in their own experimentation and cartridge development. In 1999, Remington released the first of a series of cartridges virtually identical to the Canadian Magnum cartridges, which featured a slightly wider body, increased taper, and shallower shoulders, and named it the 300 Remington Ultra Magnum. Dakota too released their own version of the cartridge, but chose not to turn down the rim and shorten the case to work in a standard length action. Remington would go on to design their own shortened versions of the Ultra Magnum cartridge, which they were to call the Remington Short Action Ultra Magnum. All right, so just a little bit. What are we talking about for velocity, energy? What can you expect? If you're looking at a 220 grain round-nosed bullet We're looking at a velocity of 2,933 feet per second with 4,203 foot-pounds of energy out of a 24-inch test barrel. If you want to lighten up a little bit and go 150 grains, and I'm not sure what the bullet is exactly, it doesn't say here, you're looking at a velocity of 3,456 feet per second with 3,979 foot-pounds of energy. All right. And again, this round has been around since 1999, and the parent case is the 404 Jeffrey. Guys, any thoughts on the 300 Remington Ultra Magnum? Should I get one of these in a pistol? In a bolt-action handgun form? What do you guys think? Would that be the way to go? We'll take that as a yes. Moving on. All right, so what can you get for guns in this caliber? All right, well, let's talk about ammo. Ammo. We always got to do a little ammo search. So looking over at AmmoSeek, if you want to get some, what do we have here? 180 grain pointed soft point, 20-round boxes. We're looking at $37.29 at $1.86 per round, and it's going to go up from there. So I mean, you're getting a lot of bullet for the money. I mean, this is a fairly substantially large cartridge. 180 grain is not a huge bullet, but it's also not. It's available from Remington and Federal, and that's primarily all that I'm seeing right now. Norma makes some, and that's HSM makes some also. Hornady does make some too, but it's a little bit expensive. Looking at about, Hornady only sells it in cases of 200, $461 at $231 per round. So, I mean, if you want to go after the large game in North America, then definitely consider the 300 Remington Ultra Magnum. From a reloading standpoint, I'd imagine that brass is available. I don't know, Squib, do you know anything about that? The 404 Jeffrey? Are you familiar with that brass at all?
I've heard of the cartridge, but I have no experience with it. It's another one of those, really big, expensive. I've got so much money that I wipe my butt with $20 bill kind of calibers, rifles that, I mean, I don't know. If you have the means, I guess go ahead and spend the money, but I'm not going to.
I mean, just as a apples to oranges comparison, just kind of looking at 4570, you're looking at about 1,000 foot-pounds more energy versus 4570, just kind of throwing these big bore cartridges out here. Now, I don't know exactly how it compares to 458 SOCOM, so I couldn't tell you. Of course, we're talking two completely different platforms and rifles, but just as kind of a big bore comparison. Looking at rifles that are out there, Ridgeline makes a couple rifles for it. We're looking at $1,300 to $2,000 for an MSRP if you want to get yourself a rifle chambered in 300 Ultra Mag. Now, you can get a Remington 700 special purpose synthetic. Oh, I bet that's going to kick. A 3+1 capacity, 26-inch barrel for $745 with the MSRP. Not sure if you can find anything else. That might be about it. So it looks like, Browning makes one also. They've got their Hell's Canyon rifle. Okay. There's also a company called Traverse that makes one. It's $23.95. So yeah, it's going to be a little expensive to get into, but if you want a nice high-powered big bore caliber rifle, that's definitely going to be the way to go. So yeah, I mean, Remington Ultra Magnum, it looks decent if you got the money for it. I mean, it's going to take down about anything that you're going to need. So yeah, I would try it out. Don't know if we can get an AR upper for it yet, but I'm sure somebody's probably working on one. Hey, Kingpin, did you get that 458 SOCOM upper yet?
No, I'm gonna wait and get it here on the Christmas sale.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully they'll have some decent deals. I think Bear Creek had, I don't know if it was free shipping or what the deal was. They had some specials for Black Friday. They did drop the prices on their lowers like $10 or $15, so you could have got the 762 by 39 for I think $209 if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. So it was a pretty decent price. All right, let's see what you guys are saying out there in the live chat. Yeah, go ahead.
Bear Creek's been pretty reasonable lately, so I'd imagine that, when the Christmas sale comes around, it should be pretty good. One question about the 300 RUM. Is that comparable to the 300 Win Mag, or is that totally different?
That's a good question. Let's see, versus 300 Win Mag. I was going to just get the ballistics on 300.
Mag. Those are pretty expensive and pretty hawking rounds, too.
So 300 Win Mag versus 300 RUM on Sniper Central. That sounds like a sniperforums.com. Let's see here. They say regardless of either one, you're going to be looking at a fairly stout recoil on that. Let's see what people say about this here. Forget recoil, shoulder punishment, developing a flinch, forget all that. Let's see here. 300 RUM is more powerful and probably a better long-range cartridge ballistically. That's about the end of the advantages, in my opinion. 300 RUM is hard on cases, and the cases made for it are soft, so you don't get any reloads out of them. Oh, my God. Although they don't have the PITA, pain in the you-know-what, belted cases. The extra speed comes with extra heat and barrel wear. Only a couple companies I'm aware of make brass for it. It's expensive to load for or to purchase loaded because of the size of the cartridge. Savage has a special receiver for the RUMs and WSMs. That said, my Savage 110 and 300 RUM is quite accurate, but heavy. Sub-minute accuracy, but barely so. It could improve with better gunsmithing. 300 Winchester Magnum is fast, but not as fast as RUM, but it's still plenty fast. Its cartridges are made by many manufacturers and are harder alloy brass. They require less powder and are easy enough to load for despite the belt and are easier on the shoulder. There's a lot more data available on 300 Win Mag ammo and less expensive at the store. So, yeah, so 300 Winchester, I think it's WSM Winchester Short Magnum, is that right? Or 300 Winchester with 300 Win Mag. Yeah, I would say for large game, you'd probably want to go the 300 Win Mag route. Just because but if you got the money and you want to play around with a fun caliber, you just want some kind of a toy or just want to say you've got one of the largest, 30 caliber rifles out there, nothing wrong with it. But so David, how was the shooting experience with that 300 Win Mag? Pretty punishing on the shoulder or not? Wasn't too bad?
Yeah, it's definitely not something that you're going to want to take a box to the range with to tinker around. I would imagine that, unless like Squib said, you're just somebody who likes to waste a bunch of money. I would imagine take it sighted in, 3-4 rounds, however long it takes you to get it sighted in.
Yeah.
And then your next round you put out of it's going to be toward an animal. But, it was fun, and I can say I did it, but it's not comfortable at all.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys out here in Nebraska that shoot that 300 Win Mag, and what's that?
It's ridiculously expensive.
I was going to just look up just a box of just 300 Win Mag and just see what it goes for. Now there's a lot of guys that shoot that out here in Nebraska. 7mm Remington Magnum is also popular too. Let's see here. 300 WSM. What are we looking at for a box here? So, par for the course. So if you just want, Hornady American Whitetail, $20.27 for 20 rounds, 165 grain interlock, but then it goes up from there. $8, $6. Also there's a lot more of that ammo in production, so you're gonna have a lot more competition for the prices. But yeah, you're probably looking at $25, $27 for a box in the store. So, and that's going to be up there with say 30-06 and some of the other larger caliber rounds too. So, yeah. So, hey, Nice Strike wanted me. Oh, go ahead.
Coming from a non-hunter's perspective, and when I take a rifle out, I'm going to the range to put a bunch of holes in targets and, do a bunch of shooting. So $1 a round is expensive, if you ask me.
Yeah. So looking at some of the comments here, let's see. Laskin Ballistics says, I'd rather have my 338 Win Mag over 300 RUM and still get 4,000 foot-pounds of, I'm assuming we're talking, energy. Gun Website says, if Clover's live on Instagram, is that still Quarking Travis P11? No, because we're on different social media, kind of different audiences that we're reaching out to. It doesn't matter in the end. Either person can check our shows out later on if they want to. Let's see. Tara Smith says, I found the Hornady AMAX bullet is the most accurate from an AR-10 308. Hornady Black uses it. Yeah, the AMAX bullets are fantastic. Hornady ammo their bullets are just fantastic. I fired their Superformance 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's really, really nice. So, let's see. So Grumpy said, which compact optic pistols did they talk about? We just kind of covered them in general. We had just mentioned a little bit about the Springfield Hellcat. We also talked about the P365. Just the fact that there's a lot of options coming out there, and if you buy a certain manufacturer of handgun, there's a pretty good chance that they make an optics-ready compact or subcompact pistol for you out there. Now, Alaskan Ballistics also says a grizzly bear charging at you at 25 miles an hour that weighs 800 pounds generates 16,000 foot-pounds of energy. That's terrifying to think of. Yeah, I would not want to deal with that. So now Alaskan Ballistics also says just shot a 45-70 with 3,500 foot-pounds of energy. There you go. So lots of options out there. All right, guys. So just checking out the chat. So I think we're probably going to go ahead and call it. It's about that time. We try to wrap up around 7:15, 7:30 Central Time. Night Strike wanted me to mention that you guys can support GunTube over there. As you can see, the GunTube chamber is working great tonight. Also, just as kind of a recommendation, if you guys want to use the GunTube chamber, just get in touch with Night Strike. He'll teach you how to use it. He's got a video on it out there too, and you guys can use it for your live streaming. Mine is working really well tonight. I'm actually running an Ethernet. I've got a cable plugged into my tower instead of my little wireless antenna that I normally use. So that's why maybe the video quality is a little bit better tonight. The audio quality is a little bit better. I've got a nice solid stream to my cable modem. So if you guys are going to do it, try running hardwired. You might get better broadcasting experience. And I noticed that nobody's been dropped tonight from the chat. I mean, Kingpin, did you get dropped at all tonight or AWAG? Did you get bumped out at all this evening? Because usually you guys get bumped out 4, 5, 6 times, in an hour.
I got dropped out before we started going live. So
just once?
Yeah, just once.
And I mean, yeah, you guys usually get bumped out, and then you got to come back in, and you got doubles of your icons and stuff. So yeah, do support the GunTube. Make sure you guys do that. And where's that at there? Night Strike gave us some information on that. You can go to store.guntube.org, and you can pick yourselves out a GunTube T-shirt if you want to. So there you go. All right. And again, we get to do this for free. We get to use this tool for free to bring the gun content to you, so it's definitely a good thing. Otherwise, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So real quick, let's let the channel go ahead and give us their plugs for their let's let the panel give their plugs for their channels. And so Squib, we'll go ahead and start off with you. Anything you want to say before we close it out?
Thanks for the invite, and see you guys next week.
Sounds good, man. All right, sounds good. And I'll try to get the topic posted as soon as I can for next week. Kingpin, anything you want to say before we go, brother?
Oh, man, thanks for having me. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, sounds good, sounds good. And Grumpy, I'll get to your question here in just a second. AWAG, anything you want to say before we go, man?
Thanks for having me on. Thank you for continuing to have me on, because I always get the emails, but usually I'm just been super busy.
Oh.
Haven't had the time to join, but thank you for inviting me all these years. What year are we going on? Like 3 for this?
I think it'll be. I gotta look and see. I think we're only 2, maybe 2.5 years in right now. So, because I mean, you figure 52 weeks in a year, but I have not done a show every single week. We're on episode 113, so it's been at least 2 years. I don't remember if it was the fall when we started this. I'd have to go back and look at my. I think it was May. Was it May? I think it was May, possibly of 2 years ago. So it's been 2.5 years that we've been doing the show. Oh, yeah. A lot of stuff going on, and as I get closer to the move, might have to take a week or 2 off, but I'll try to go live when I can, where I can, so who knows, it might be McDonald's or something. You said they're eating french fries the whole time? But no, I appreciate you being here. Kingpin, real quick, you have a Beretta APX?
Oh, yes, sir, I do.
All right. So somebody had posted a question here, and Grumpy had asked this question. Have you looked at the APX Centurion? They have an RDO, and you can swap the frame for the compact frame. So they have a red dot option, and you can swap the frame for a compact frame. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing with the Beretta, at least the APX series, is it's the little module, the trigger module inside is the serialized part. So they usually come with 2 different grips, and you can kind of switch them in and out and stuff like that. I haven't seen that one, but I do kind of like the compact that they just came out with. The gun is ugly as can be, but it
looks like a upside down high heel or like a boot, or it looks like a door stopper. But I mean, it's not. I'm sure it functions just fine. So
I kind of lied to you, Travis.
Yeah.
I haven't been on since day 1. I've been on there since day 2.
Oh, episode 2, we finally got you on.
Dude, I'm looking back and forth. I'm just swapping between tabs and the difference between you.
Well, we could take just a second here and just kind of have a little,
man,
a 2.5 year, and you can see where I'm sitting at a folding card table with nothing for a background.
No, you for number 2, you have a camo background.
Do you know how I did that?
How did you do that? Don't tell me it's a blanket.
Let's see here. There's another channel called there is a channel called Caliber Corner. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was a camouflage tarp that I hung from the drop tile ceiling in our basement to give that sweet background. So here, let me just do a little screen share with you guys here real quick. Hey, there's Kingpin's APX. That's
pretty cool.
Yeah, they're neat looking guns, man.
It gives me a little bit of a Steyr M9A1 vibe.
Oh yeah. All right, so real quick, guys, for those of you that are still watching, go ahead.
Toblerone bar quite a bit.
What's that?
The candy bar, the Toblerone.
It does look like a Toblerone bar. Yeah, you could probably take a Toblerone and just like bore it out and just use it as like an edible slide. You know, or just take a couple shots, it'll just melt right off. So you can have like a candy, like a 3D candy printed gun that will just melt the evidence. Or you eat it, one of the two, and clean out the barrel first. But
imagine an actual milk chocolate
edible fire. Well, I don't know if we want people putting edible firearms in their mouth. That might send kind of a bad vibe.
Just eat the evidence.
Just eat the evidence. So real quick, guys, I just want to share the screen here and want to show you. Are you guys seeing this? Here's Caliber Corner episode number 1. Look at this. Look at that. That's my basement right there.
Who was that guy? Who's the host of it?
I don't know. That right there is Night Strike. That's his old icon that he used to have. He had the Newcomb or whatever. And then Squibby still had Clint Eastwood going on there. Let's go ahead and bump ahead a little bit. There you go. Look at that. Ah, that was May 13th of 2017. I was so young and innocent back then. Oh, geez. So that's the basement at our house here in Nebraska. So, which we're going to be moving. So we're going to have a different background. I have no idea what the man cave is going to look like. So it could get interesting, guys. Kind of check out what kind of a space. I might just be in the corner of a garage doing the episodes too. I have no idea what's going to happen. So we'll have to see what happens there. But all right. So anyway, let's go ahead and see who is joining us this evening. And guys, make sure that you do check out the Guns and Geeks podcast later on over on Never Enough Ammo's show or channel. We've also I've got over on gunchannels.com, it's showing Locked and Loaded, 8 p.m. Is that right, Squib?
No, we haven't done Lock and Load in probably over 6 months, and it wasn't at 8. Okay. It wasn't at 8 p.m. then either. So
okay. Well, I'm showing 9 p.m. Eastern time for Never Enough Ammo. There's also just be looking for the Daily Gun Show this evening. Some of these other shows up here, they haven't done a show for a while, but do be looking for the Daily Gun Show with G-Webs out there. That should be coming up this evening after Matt's show gets over. And so let's see who is joining us tonight. Who is joining us over on the YouTube side? We got Kingpin out there. Fusano 10 is out there. Grumpy's out there. Screaming Skull Saloon says LOL. Alaskan Ballistics. Rich White was out there. Rolling Trip was with us. Jason Stewart, Kingpin. 817 LDS was out there. Let's see. Tara Smith was out there saying hello. And Mystic Guns was joining in. That's a new one, Mystic Guns. I don't know if I've seen you out there before. G-Webs is joining us. Saw a little Midnight Range TM joining in there. Paul D was out there this evening. Alaskan Ballistics, you gave me a super chat. I did not see that. Someone get a 110 grain VMAX and 300 RUM at 4,000 feet per second. That defies the laws of physics, doesn't it? That would just be amazing. So Alaskan Ballistics, thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry I missed that, buddy. I'm kind of bouncing between different tabs. Gizzard Gary was out there. He said Stan's the man. Yes, he is. Rolling Trip was out there too. Ecoda was out there. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I think Scott P79 was joining in earlier. I'm sure you're out there still. Fallen Angel out there too. Razor JB in the house. YNH is out there too. And Calaveras 32 Special. Poor Conservative. Man, we had a lot of people watching tonight. There's just a person called Review that was out there watching. Interesting. All right, welcome to the show. We did have a new viewer, and I can't remember who it was. Wasn't it like the Second Amendment is not a suggestion was joining us this evening? Yoder Texas was out there too. I carry my revolver and single action was watching this evening. Good stuff. And yeah, Second Amendment wasn't a suggestion. Joined us this evening, and Southpaw was out there too. All right, I think that's pretty much it. So, guys, I want you all to have yourselves a great week, and we'll have another episode coming up next week. A lot of great shows coming down the pipe here. I got a lot more videos I'm making for the channel too. There was a question Grumpy was asking, is the new house going to be bigger? Well, probably not. The place that we have right now is 2 stories. It's almost 3,000 square feet. It was built in the 1950s, so it's pretty big. It's very square. Squib has been there actually. And we got a fully finished basement and the fully finished upstairs. So yeah, we're probably not going to get the same thing. The prices in Lincoln, Nebraska are a lot higher. We might be looking more like a townhouse. We've actually sold or moved out a lot of the stuff that we've had before, just stuff that we just didn't need anymore, furniture items, kind of downsizing a little bit. So we will see where it puts me. I don't know. I might be broadcasting from like a corner closet or something. It's hard telling. So otherwise, guys, this has been Caliber Corner episode number 113, where we talked about compact optics-ready pistols. Had some Palmetto State Armory news for you there. So if you missed this episode, go back and re-listen. And then also we talked about the 300 Remington Ultra Magnum. So that's it, guys. I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. Y'all take care. And as you know, we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great one. Have yourselves a good night, and y'all be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.